welcome into this edition of Off the Front Porch, our weekly podcast exploring the Southern experience. My name is Tony Ballman, and once again, we are out on the two-lane blacktops and dirt roads of the American South. My mission, and yes, I choose to accept it, is to find fascinating personalities, explore and experience legend and lore and documented history, and immerse myself in special events that remind me just how blessed I am to be Southern. Now today we are once again settled in just a little closer to home in Aiken, South Carolina before I hit the road again, to profile a young man whose own eye for storytelling has earned him respect, accolades, and assignments working with some of the most recognizable names and faces in American cinema. He is a director and an actor whose work in television has earned him multiple Emmy Awards, which I just saw, the industry's most coveted recognition. His work has been screened at film festivals all around the globe, and his commercial work has aligned him with some of the world's biggest brands. And yet, as you will see today, he remains one of the most affable and soft-spoken individuals that you will ever have the privilege to meet, and I do hope you have the privilege to meet him if you have not, and someone I am truly blessed to call my friend. My guest today on Off the Front Porch is director, actor, writer, producer, and all-around great guy, Justin Wheelon, and his lovely wife, Rebecca Kelly.
Yes,
right.
Thank you for having me.
And
Teddy.
And yeah, let's make sure we give Teddy his due.
Right.
Teddy has to have his due.
It's his first podcast.
It's his first podcast.
Baby's first podcast.
He's gonna be angling for his own podcast before it's all said and done. It's gonna be viral. Well, first of all, thank you so very much, and thank you for the tour. By the way, I never once thought I'd be that close to that many Emmy Awards, but I walk into the Emmy vault, and like Timbuktu, my future was so bright I should have worn shades by seeing that much gold on the shelf. Dude, when you were a young man growing up here in our community, did you have any indication that you would be a multi-Emmy Award winning filmmaker?
No, that when I was growing up, we didn't have any of that stuff here at all. Atlanta wasn't what it was, and all that was on the other side of the country. That was for the people that grew up in California. That wasn't for us. So.
Well, talk to me a little bit about how the seed got planted. I mean, I knew your dad has seen me, unlike any other human being, I think, who I prefer not to. I prefer nobody have this memory, but your dad was a gym teacher.
Yeah.
And saw me in gym clothes. So when I see your dad, I always say, Coach, what's up, man? How's it going?
He loves that.
So do you tell me a little bit about how this fire to be a creator got lit in you?
Yeah, it happened in a kind of maybe a narcissistic way. It wasn't bred out of some desire to create. I was trying to be a professional golfer. It wasn't going well. I had a friend who cast me in this little movie called Death Sentence, but when I got to the set, it had Kevin Bacon, and it was directed by James Wan, and John Goodman was there, and all these stars, and I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my whole life, and that was all I wanted to do, was just be on those sets. And so I thought the way to do that was to be an actor, so that's what I tried to do, and it went fine at best. And then I would just, no matter what set I was on, I was always enamored with the directors, and just, I don't know how much people realize who controls what medium. They say TV is a writer's medium, and theater is kind of an actor's medium, and film is really a director's medium. It's that person making that movie, and everyone is there to basically serve that director. So.
And you're exactly right about that. I've been on a couple of film sets myself. The director really does sort of cast the vision, and everything else revolves around making sure that that director's vision gets realized.
Yeah, I just remembered. We both did Waiting for Butterflies?
Yes, we did. We did
Yeah.
a little picture right here in Aiken. It was.
Is that director in prison now?
I do not know. Do we need to cut
think
that
you-
part? But anyways, well, I'll say this. It was my first experience with film, and to be perfectly honest, that lit the fire in me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I ended up buying a DSLR camera, and that's what I shoot this with right now, although I got some new gear
No, that
coming
was
in this
fun.
week. But they shot it with Canon DSLR cameras all around Aiken. And for me, I said, oh, I can do that. So I had a very similar creative experience to you. It's like I experienced the film set and said, oh, I want to play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of neat. So what was the first, you said you attempted acting and that sort of thing. What was your first effort to go out and make a film that was a Justin Wheelon film?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. Even before it got to film, I just needed to make something. So I think one of the first things I made might have been a Rick Osborne Palmetto Groove video or something.
Another mutual friend.
Yeah, and I think literally just pointing the camera at something and hitting record and then going to try to edit it. I think that might have been maybe the first thing I actually made before a film ever became a reality.
And then so you started out making videos for a local band, and then
Yeah.
it just went
The Mayor's
from
band, though.
the mayor. Well,
Yes,
that's kind of important too. Although I don't think when he was playing at the time he was mayor,
I don't
but
know.
you know, but I think the band made him mayor. But
That's
we'll
right.
be-
That's right.
but so when did you start taking it serious, Justin? When did you really say this is something I'm going to make a career out of?
No one's ever asked that, funny enough. I don't know what that minute inciting incident was.
There was
said
not
that.
a moment that just flipped the switch and said, I want to be a filmmaker and this is it.
If anything, there was this movie called, we shot it, it was called Nailed, but then they changed the name to something else, but it was a David O. Russell movie, and I had a decent part in it, and David O. Russell, he did Silver Linings Playbook and
Oh,
Three
yeah.
Kings, and I just thought, I think that was the set that turned me from this is fascinating to like, I want to do this. I want to be that guy. So he was fine. He's famous for being kind of prickly. If you Google David O. Russell or do it on YouTube, there's many videos of him yelling, throwing things, cursing people out. It's not good. So he's famously cranky, and I saw that firsthand on the set. But regardless, he's very good at what he does, and so I think that made me say, I really want to do this.
And I think, it's interesting that you would say that. I think many of the artists who are considered auteurs, if you will, who practice at the highest level of the craft, tend to be these people you wouldn't necessarily want to go out and have a drink with. I mean,
I don't know, because I think maybe on the Mount Rushmore you've got the Scorsese and Christopher Nolan and Spielberg and who else would be on there? I mean, all those guys. I think I've never heard a bad word about any of those three.
Yeah.
Who's the Godfather guy? Francis Ford
Francis
Coppola.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't think you have to be crazy to be a genius. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of wear both of my labels, but no, not that I claim either one of them. Although my therapist might differ with me on one of them. But anyway, so all right. So what is a Justin Wheelon set like?
Ooh, why don't you? She was in one of my
Yeah.
films.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Rebecca. Well, talk to us a little bit about what a Justin Wheelon set looks like.
It's very collaborative. There is a lot of moving pieces, at least the ones that I've seen. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of choices being made, and Justin does a really good job at, I mean, obviously directing, but also listening. I think when people think of directors, they think of people pointing at things and say, do this, say this, go here. But in order to make those good decisions, you have to have somebody who actually is watching the room, listening. And I think Justin does a really good job at that. So being on set, it is very collaborative, and there's lots of movement. I mean, we just don't waste any time. It's very efficient. We know that we have a certain amount of things to do. We have a plan. There's lighting to think about and people's schedules, and it's just very intentional with everyone's time as well. But that's how I describe it, at least the sets that I've been on.
Yeah, collaboration for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he a tough director, Rebecca?
It depends on how you define tough.
Okay, all right.
So,
does he throw things?
No. I think he realizes that doesn't necessarily get the result that he wants. Not everybody responds to that well, right?
I was joking about that.
No, I know, but some people, I mean, it's, different people have different coaching styles, right? So some people are really, really hard. Some people are very complimentary. I think Justin is neither. I think he's a person. He talks to you like you're a person. And if he has a specific vision for something, he's going to tell you what he wants. But he also allows you as an actor to make choices and to play with the script and with the character. And if he doesn't like it, he'll tell you.
Yeah, I think that it comes from a place of, I don't believe I'm some genius auteur, and so I want the people to give me their ideas too, because it may be great and I may have never thought about it.
Maybe better.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And that's happened many times. And so I know that there's, like Noah Baumbach, for instance, who did Marriage Story and stuff like that. You don't deviate a syllable. Or Aaron Sorkin is famous for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You don't. There's no ad-libbing. In fact, he will tell you how he wants you to pronounce the word. I mean, it is so precise, and I'm just not like that.
What was your big break? What was the thing that said to you, all right, this is it. This confirms that I am talented, I can do this at the highest level, and I can produce something people want to watch?
Probably the Emmys, just because it's so well known for being other people deemed it great, I mean, I can show it to my mom and show it to friends, and they may say it's great, but until an industry or a panel of your peers all around the country with no skin in the game say that that's the best, I think that for me was the moment that I thought, okay, this is I'm decent. I'm good at it. I'm good at it.
And what project was that?
Well, there's a famous story I tell sometimes, and I'll make a long story short. But the very first year I submitted to the Emmys, I got four nominations, and everybody was so nice and so kind, and they said, you're going to win at least one. And yeah, of course. I mean, I'm going to get at least one. And so
you figure you're playing the odds, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was certain. I mean, there were some categories with 2 or 3 people. I mean, this was before ChatGPT, so I couldn't say, what are the odds that I'm going to win, Anyway, I went that night, and it's just like you see on TV. They come out with an envelope, and you don't know what it's going to say, and they came out, and I didn't win the first, I didn't win the second, I didn't win the third, and then the fourth, I'm like, this is it, like, finally, and then I don't win that one. And so I was legitimately very sad, because I wanted it so bad. I thought it was just going to change the course of my career.
You really felt like you needed that validation.
Yeah, well, I wanted it so bad, and I'm not even positive, but I know I wanted it like crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was a sour sport about it. I left the ballroom, and I just basically went to bed. And I took a couple weeks, I was just pouting, but then I said, okay, like, I'm going to get back there. So everything I made that next year, I didn't care what the budget was or the time constraints. I went all out with every single project to have great stuff to submit.
Yeah.
And so the next year I submitted. Next year I had 6 nominations. And everyone's like, well, you're going to win at least one, you know? And I'm like, that's right, I am, you know? So we go. I don't win the first. I don't win the second. I don't win the third. I don't win the fourth. I'm sitting there 0 for 8, and I want to throw up. I'm just
really okay.
I cannot believe this is happening. What are the odds? And then finally they come out and open the envelope, and the Emmy goes to, and then I ended up winning the second one. So
wow.
That night at the after parties, I had 2 in my hand, and that was fun. And I think that's what just said, like, okay, you're good at it. Like I didn't think I was great or God's gift to commercials or film or anything, but I knew I'm like, okay, I'm good enough where I can maybe use this as a stepping stone, and that's what I did.
Do you remember which project it was at that point? There's been so many projects.
Yeah, there was a thing for Fox. It was the year Fox had, the Super Bowl changes networks every year.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I didn't realize that. And then one year Fox had it, and then they contacted me to do some promo spots. And so I did it, and there's really like a million Emmy categories. It's very different from the Oscars where there's 20. You know? There's like a million Emmy categories. So this was literally like a TV promo category.
Well, but nonetheless, I mean,
I was thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, you created in that category at the highest level in the industry. That's something. There's something to be said for that. There's a lot to be said for that, to be perfectly honest. Now, I have to ask you, Rebecca. Now, he was very authentic about going through this process and doubting himself and that sort of stuff. When he's on a project now, is he still angst-ridden? Is he still wrestling with, like, I want to be the best. This is going to be the best film I've done.
I think he wants to be his best. I certainly don't think he is complacent or like settles for like, this is just a project. I just want to do an okay job. I think that's just, I don't even think it's pride in a negative way. I think you take great pride in your work no matter what it is. So I think that he still very much always performs so that he reaches a level of excellence. Like, he would not be okay if it wasn't great. But there are certain projects, especially the passion projects that he's worked on, that there's another layer there, right? Because it's not just something I'm creating that's good, but it's something that maybe he helped write, or something that he is working with someone who he's very close with and he wants to make that extra special. And that's when I've seen the pressure, because he wants it to be perfect, not even because he wants it to be the best film ever on an objective standard, but he wants the process to go well. He wants to make that relationship even stronger and have new bonds and relationships with those people. So I still see a little bit of anxiety. I mean, I think everyone has imposter syndrome to a certain extent, so it doesn't matter how many of the gold trophies he has in that room. I still think everybody struggles with doubt like that every now and then.
That is the first time in 17 episodes anybody's ever used the word imposter syndrome. But I deal with it. I'm a guy who deals with that every day, too.
Everyone does.
Am I good enough? Do I know,
Yes.
Do I have the goods? What's the biggest project you have ever worked on, Justin?
Biggest in terms of like eyeballs, maybe?
I mean, eyeballs, money, star power. I mean,
Well, there's been.
I mean, there's so many different degrees of big.
Yeah.
I mean, could you pick up the phone right now and call Steven Spielberg because you've worked with him on a project?
No, I have not worked with him. No, I've never met him. I guess in terms of eyeballs, maybe like the Masters commercials. I think those get seen by millions and millions of people. And then I know they do online. I would see how people on Twitter and Instagram comment on something I made, and that was funny. I think in terms of biggest people I ever met, maybe just personally. I think maybe the three. Well, I tell you what. Here's 4 people that I directly got to work with, and they're all extremely well known. Some may be infamous, but Michael Jordan,
Okay.
Tiger Woods, Donald Trump, and Barack Obama. So.
I'd say they both all qualify with famous and infamous. All, I mean,
At least
on
in
some
terms
level,
who
all
can
of them.
people recognize.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
so.
But those are some big names that you're working with. Do you get intimidated by working with people like a president of the United States and three of the biggest athletes in the history of all of sports?
Yeah, neither of the presidents were presidents when I got with them, but no, yeah, Tiger was extremely intimidating. He was very nice and kind, but he's still like Tiger Woods, and as growing up a golfer, you know, he's the Tiger Woods of Tiger Woods, you know.
And I mean, you have the rapport with golfers naturally because you are a golfer.
Yeah, we
and
did a shoot with Rory and Scotty Scheffler and all these guys I watch every single week. I was telling somebody, because we just did that thing with Billy Bob the other night, Billy Bob Thornton. It's weird when someone is only ever 2D your whole life, you know, and then suddenly they're standing in front of you. Did you feel like that?
Yes.
It's just
Absolutely.
strange when they're standing right there.
And
And then you're talking to them. Yeah, I don't know.
I definitely think there's an effect to it where you feel like you know them, but then you realize they have no idea who you are. And you might not actually know who they are as a person. You just have seen them maybe for hours play a
well,
certain
in
character.
that particular case, Billy Bob Thornton had nothing on you because you too are a member of the South Carolina Entertainment Hall of Fame along with Billy Bob Thornton. Forget the room full of Emmys, you know, forget the beautiful paintings that I'm coveting on the wall. You are a member of the South Carolina Entertainment Hall of Fame. What about that? I mean, you've had a ton of accolades. Is it cool to think that you are? You know, there's something in the Bible that says a prophet is not respected in his own town. But look at you. You're in the South Carolina Entertainment Hall of Fame.
It's very cool. I've had a lot of friends in there that have been in there for so long, and they deserve it. And there was never a question whether they should be in there, and talking about like Darius Rucker and Edwin McCain. And
Edwin McCain.
And, you know, it's like, of course they're in it. Their song plays every 5 seconds somewhere on Sirius XM, you know. And so when I got the call, it was, again, imposter syndrome. Like, I understand that there is a lot of people in this Hall of Fame that you may never heard of. There's record producers and all kinds of things that you don't know their name, but they made the Allman Brothers record and all kinds of cool stuff. But so I kind of felt like in that category, like, okay, like, is it a stretch? I don't know. I'll take it or whatever. So, it's an honor. Yeah.
Well, and one more thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I was absolutely humbled and just moved that you shared with me a project today that you just submitted to film festivals.
Yeah, today.
And may I talk about it?
Sure, go for it.
This is a film called Silence.
The Silence, yeah.
The Silence. And I watched this in a place where I've got a lot of chaos going on in my life right now because I'm starting this new venture and stepping out in faith to sort of live life on my own terms after being in the rat race and trying to check all the boxes of other people's expectations for me. And I watched this, and it spoke to me on a wholly spiritual level about we really do have to settle down and listen to what the earth is trying to tell us, what the universe is trying to tell us. It was a beautiful film. And then I look at the different places you shot. Wow, do you like being on his arm on the other? I mean,
I wish I could be more than I even am. Because
She's
sometimes
always in trial.
I'll be in court or I'll be working. And
didn't you shoot in the Andes or something in that? Or
there's footage from all over the world. We just shot some of it last week in San Luis Obispo in Morro Bay.
Wow.
But no, that thing stemmed from, we went to Alaska a few weeks ago, and she actually wrote that, by the way. She wrote the film.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
So you wrote?
Yeah.
So the words that the narrator says are yours? All right, get out of the shot. I want to talk with her because that is one of the most beautiful scripts I have ever heard.
It was initially his.
I had some bullet points.
Well, no, he had an idea because we had gone to Alaska and there was just something we couldn't pinpoint what it was, but. I mean, Alaska, if you haven't been, you absolutely should go, like top of your list. It's so beautiful. But there was a calm and there was a peace that we just could not shake or quite like figure out how to explain what it was doing to us to actually put our phones down or to leave it all together in the room and just go out and be in nature. And so he brought it up first and was like, let's kind of work on this together. And then I went from there and kind of adjusted the script to kind of get what we were wanting it to say.
Well, we were at this glacier, but no, it wasn't Glacier Bay National. No, where was the salmon bake?
Oh, that was in Juneau. We took a seaplane over to.
So we took a seaplane to this house beside a glacier, and then Beck and I just went for a walk with nobody else there. And it was. If you just stopped and just listened, there's like a million sounds going on, but we would say, this is the quietest place ever, but it really wasn't. And that's what you kind of saw in the movie.
And that exactly, because the sound of the ocean and the sound of the trees and the winds going through the trees. That was a beautiful film. I got to tell you, all right, I'm just saying it. And I don't want to, should I not say it because I don't want to jinx it? But, all right, shall we all knock wood on this one? If that doesn't win an Emmy, if that does not win an Oscar, I don't know that anybody has ever made anything worthy of an Oscar that is. That's a beautiful film.
It's very kind.
Good. I mean,
I love the way that it's turned. I think it's
I can
beautiful.
think of 30 people right now that I could send this to who love nature, who have worked in nature.
Yeah.
And that would speak to them on a wholly spiritual level.
Yeah.
That films don't normally speak to people on.
I sent it to Jim Anderson. Do you remember Jim Anderson?
Yeah, who lives in Alaska. Yes.
Yeah, we saw him when we were there.
Yeah, he wrote a little. I asked you for a little blurb, and then he wrote a little blurb.
Well, with your permission, I'm actually going to share it with a dear friend of mine who used to be a national park ranger.
Nice.
And I know that it would speak to her. And I think anybody that loves nature, anybody that loves being outside, that's going to resonate on a wholly spiritual level with them.
And
it's a great
so
reminder.
Short,
It's so short, and it's a great reminder to put down don't let all of the creations that we have surrounded ourselves with drown out all of the beautiful sounds, right, that actually bring us so much peace and joy and contentment.
Wow. All right, we actually, this has gone so quickly, but I just want to wrap it up with this. Is there a passion project that is out there for you that when you get to be a Martin Scorsese or you get to be a Francis Ford Coppola, when you get to be their age and you have the that many years clocked in the industry, is there a project now that you want to look back and go, that is my magnum opus?
I don't know that I've found that yet, and I mean this in the way that, like, I've got some scripts and some feature scripts, and they're going to be so much fun and they're commercially viable, but I don't know if it's the thing that I'll hang my hat on for the rest of my life. But I know it's out there, and I feel like I've got time. And I think the biggest thing is I don't really live and die by every project anymore. Where I think in my 20s, if I failed on something, it was a miserable failure and I was depressed and stuff. But now it's like I'm so happy and settled with and content with life and work and everything. I think, these projects can come and go, and I'll give it my all, and I'll see them through all the way till the last festival run it can make. But I think I'm just so content with everything that if it comes, it comes. If not, I'll be okay too.
In other words, you have your own silence.
That's right.
Your own spiritual silence. Man, Justin Wheelon, Rebecca, thank you for having me in here and inviting me into your beautiful home.
Teddy said, how about me?
Teddy says, oh, I'm sorry. I left you out of the credits. I apologize. But I thank you so much for having me in here and talking about your art and your craft. And it's always fun when I get to interview friends because we get to kind of share in fellowship as much as we have talking about whatever topic. So I appreciate you having me in. I have a glass of wine waiting for me over here. So, but just be sure to check out the video on our YouTube channel. Check out the feature story on my Substack, and of course, share the podcast, which is now hosted on my Substack, with your friends so that they can enjoy this conversation as well. Thank you so much for having me in, and we will be out and about next week here off the front porch.